A little over a month ago, the Mardukite Research Organization did a pre-release promotional event for the Anunnaki Tarot, where we developed our own limited edition Major Arcana Anunnaki Tarot, beautifully done with mirrored glossy images. Some are still available from the Mardukite Research Organization on eBay. We also did a deluxe set that featured this hard shell leather case for those that were able to acquire them. But what I'm going to show you in this video is how to make your own Anunnaki Tarot deck using your own copy of our book, The Anunnaki Tarot, Consulting the Babylonian Oracle of Cosmic Wisdom. So to craft your own Mardukite Anunnaki Tarot, you will of course need a copy of our Anunnaki Tarot guidebook, a pair of scissors, some tape, a straight edge ruler, some pens, possibly markers, we'll show you what to do with those in a second, and of course a good surface to work on. So although the Anunnaki Tarot guidebook was originally designed to accompany our physical card construction for internal purposes among the Mardukite Research Organization, one of the things we intentionally did for this guidebook and why we're selling it as a standalone materials is that their cards are actually reproduced in the back that coincide with the images that we were using to make our physical card deck. Now, these images also appear within the text of the book, corresponding with the interpretation, symbolism, and divinatory card meanings. But in the back of the book, our graphically designed index and appendix will actually be able to be used to construct your own Anunnaki Tarot card deck. And these are two-sided pages. As you can see, the front image has a card image as appropriate to each of these cards. And they're listed blank in the back, where you can see on this card, this has the name Marduk, and Marduk has Master of the Magicians. He represents the Magician card in our Major Arcana. There's no actual card text on the back images, which you can use them as standalone images. You can put in the standard tarot, for example, just the Magician name for the images. You can add them as they appear on our card deck, where the name Marduk and Magician appears, or you can use divinatory keywords. If you're still just learning the tarot, you can insert keywords into these spaces and use the cards that way. So what we're going to do is show you how to take out the appendix of the book using a straight edge and some type of razor blade or safety blade. I don't want to get calls and letters from people regarding losing fingers for this book. This is being offered with no impunity. You construct this at your own risk. So the appendix can be removed by taking a straight edge and running it along the back area near the binding. You're going to want to leave some of the page there to maintain the integrity of the binding, and cut it down the seam using a razor blade or other safety blade device. And you can work your way down through. You don't need to cut through all 20 pages at once, 22 pages at once to make your Major Arcana. You can work your way down through. Okay, so using the straight edge, you're going to get a much cleaner cut. You're also going to keep your fingers away from the cutting area. And once you've worked your way all the way through the back, make sure not to actually cut through the back of the book. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that in a minute. You'll essentially be removing all of the pages that are appendix back, and you can actually remove this back page as well. And after we prepare the cards, we'll make a envelope, keep your cards in the back, attached to the back cover, and it'll maintain the integrity of the shape and size of the book. So what we have are several, should be 22 pages, 22 cards that you're going to make, and they're all two-sided. And what I've found is that if you're going to laminate them, do anything to them, it's best to do it before you actually make any cuts. If you want to color them, if you want to add any names to them, you want to do that at this point. Because I have an existing deck, I've decided to turn this deck into a meditation deck, so the images I'll be using for their arcanic symbolism, not necessarily with names indicated as cards. There's information in the book about how to use them in that respect as well. So what you're going to want to do is find yourself some tape. The tape is probably your cheapest option. You can also get contact paper or lamination paper. It's going to probably cost you about 2 or 3 times as much to do it that way. And your first step is to replace your roll of tape. Here at the Mardukite offices, we're really big on conservation, so it's very important that instead of throwing away these pieces of plastic every time, that you save the earth and save yourself some money by getting refills. Now, if you're fortunate enough to find some tape that I could not readily find at the store, you'll actually have a slightly easier time at this. This tape is 1.88 inches wide. These cards were designed to be 2 inches wide. So you're going to have to make some decisions where you're either going to overlap the tape to make it easy for yourself. I'm really good at lining it up, so I'll probably run it down one side and then the other, have a line, a seam going down the middle. If you want to get creative, it's almost the width of the cards, so you could run it down the middle and use Scotch tape to run down either side. In either case, we'll just get this started here to show. Actually, we're going to tear off that piece, which has a little bit of the packaging stuff on it. Take one side, just like there. Line up tape on your seams on each side. Now, if you choose to, you can also laminate the back. I actually find that it's easier to have a nice texture if you're doing it this way, and keep the back as paper. Otherwise, you can also laminate the back. Another alternative would be pasting these to cardstock or poster board and cutting them out that way. Once you've laminated all your cards, you'll notice that the backgrounds actually have a nice dark gray sheen to them that separates it from the surrounding white paper. You should be able to cut along the outline there to have the gray background, and the back of the card will actually it'll fall right into place. It's an overlap image, so that you can cut the image out and it's not going to leave any kind of weird borders or anything like that. And so we'll go through and cut each of the 22 cards to the same shape. So now you have your self-made, self-cut, self-laminated deck of Anunnaki tarot cards. So you take these, and you'll probably notice that you're left over with this page in the back. It's got a nice little double-barred ink on it. It says published by the Joshua Free imprint representing Mardukite Truth Seeker Press. can take this, and if you want to cut about halfway between the Ankh and the top of the page, you can take your deck of cards, and you're going to want to line it up with the middle of the page, and you can feel the cards behind you, behind the page with your finger, and right about just above where the writing begins, you want to give that a little bit of a fold, and try and keep it as square as possible. Don't fold it too tightly. You want to make sure there's plenty of room for the cards to slide in and out. And then once you open that back up, you're going to give a bit of a fold around each side. And again, leaving some space. So once you fold the bottom flap under and behind, you're going to want to secure that space there with some tape pieces on either side, making sure, of course, not to catch your cards in there. So now you have a nice little envelope that fits your cards, and they slide very easily. So you take that out and make sure to cut yourself a piece of tape just slightly longer than the envelope. And normally this would probably be a difficult thing to do, but because of this space, you can easily use your finger to slide the tape back along the back of the page. You attach your finger to it appropriately and kind of cup your envelope to get it down all the way to the back. And you can bring the two sides down on either side. Without pulling out too much skin. And then square it up by inserting your cards in the front side of the pocket without the adhesive, which will push the adhesive back against the back of the envelope. And you can take your copy of the book and attach this firmly into the middle of the back cover. And press it very, very firmly. The tape will hold it in place. You'll also be able to maintain the integrity of the binding, the spacing, the shape of the book, and you'll have a nice set of Anunnaki tarot cards and a guide to consulting the Babylonian Oracle of Cosmic Wisdom.